Let's do this. Okay. So we have something to factorize here, and we're going to go through this little checklist, all right, to check what strategy is the best to use. So step 1, is there a common factor amongst all terms? Is there a common factor between 2, -1, and -15? Not really. I mean, there's -1, but that's not very helpful. So we go to the next strategy. Are there square numbers at the start and at the end? So is 2 a square number and is -15 a square number? No, they are not square numbers. So we continue to step 3. Is A equal to 1? Because if so, we'll use the PSF thing. I've just had a mind blank and can't remember what that stands for. Partial sum factors? Oh, yeah. Anyway, is A equal to 1? Well, A is equal to 2. So no, A is greater than 1. So we look to use this. A is greater than 1, the AC method. All right, that's what we're going to do. So actually, I will keep this here because we might need some values for variables, okay? The AC method. All right. How it works is, because it's the AC method, you have to do A times C. So A is 2, as we've just seen. And C is -15. Oops, that looks like an S. So that's -30 is our AC method. Okay, now next, we need to find 2 numbers that multiply to give -30 and add, yes, we do. And they add to give the middle number. Okay, they add to give that -1. So they add to give AC and they multiply to give AC and they add to give the middle number. Okay, what 2 numbers? So I'm thinking, what could I, if I go through the factors of 30, forget about the negative for now, do you really think that they're going to get, these factors are going to get in the vicinity when you add them to get to -1? No, so I'm just going to ignore those factors. Let's try something a little bit further along. So 2 times 15 is not going to get me anywhere near -1, so I can immediately disregard. 3 times 10, we're getting closer, but it's not going to get me near -1 on the number line if I add or subtract 3 and 10. What about 4, 5, let's try 5. 5 times 6 is 30. That's looking like if I add or subtract these numbers, that can get me in the vicinity of -1. So let's try it. 5 times 6 is 30. So we actually need -30. AC is -30. So I need to get a negative number, one of these numbers has to be negative. So let's just try it out first. I'm going to make 5 negative. So -5 plus 6 gets me +1, sadly. If you do that in your calculator, get it into the positives. So what if I try making the 6 negative? Let's just rub that out. What if I make, instead of the 5, I make the 6 negative, and I try to add them, those 2 factors. 5 plus -6 is the same as 5 take 6, which is indeed -1. So that's good. We have got our factors, 5 and -6. So that's the hard part, is just finding the factors, but go through the times tables and see what will get you in the vicinity when you add those numbers. Okay, anyway. Now, the next step is that we forget a lot. What is it? I'm forgetting right now. We've found our factors, which are looking great. Now we're going to split the middle term. split the middle term. The middle term's here. So let's rewrite it by splitting up that middle term with the factors we just found, okay? So it's going to be 5x, splitting up that negative 1x. 5x, take 6x, take 15. So all you're doing is splitting up that middle term. Let me get a highlighter. We're splitting up that negative 1, or negative x, into 5x takes 6x. It's the same thing. So we've split the middle term, which is great. Now we are going to see how there's 4 terms now. We're going to just split them in half. Just make that slightly neater. And I wonder, if you look at this, would you know how to factorize that? Factorize means just take the highest common factor out the front of a pair of brackets. So this is called factorizing by grouping. Lots of different methods in the AC method. So factorizing by grouping, let's just factorize. So a common factor between 2 and 5 is just x. X times 2 gives 2x squared. X times 5 gives 5x. Then we're going to look at this. So I know that I could probably factor a negative straight out, right? Because negative 6 and negative 15. So I'm going to do that. And is there any common factors there? I don't think so. So what have we got? I think we might have to like rearrange it a little bit, because there's no common factors there except negative 1. So in that case, we can just switch up the 5x and negative 6x, okay? So I'm going to do negative 6x plus 5x. Okay. Oh, sorry. Negative 6x plus 5x. Now let's try to factorize. Okay, highest common factor at the front. That's all there. Highest common factor at the front is 2, and then you look at your variables, 2x. 2x times x gives 2x squared. 2 times negative 3 gives 6x, and then another x. If you get confused, just multiply it out and you'll see. And then you look at this one, so you're splitting that in half. Take that sign at the front. Common factor between 5 and 15 is 5. And then no others. X is only in one term. 5 times x gives 5x. Take 5 times 3 gives 15. And now we're looking good. Once we can see those are the same. This thing is the same in the brackets, right? That's when we know we're good. Okay, then we can just do this. So we know that in factorizing by grouping, a pair of brackets is the highest common factor. So I put that out the front. It's weird, but then you just put whatever's left over into the other one, 2x plus 5. So it's the highest common factor times that, but the highest common factor happens to be a pair of brackets. Okay, so we stepped through our strategy. We looked for a common factor. There was no common factor amongst 2 and 15. We looked at, are there square numbers at the start and at the end? No, those are not square numbers. So we got to this step. Is a equal to 1? No, a is equal to 2. So you proceed to the AC method if a is greater than 1. And your last possible resort is the quadratic formula. Hopefully that made sense.